Welcome. Take a moment to get comfortable. For this practice, it's best to be sitting on the floor, though it can work sitting in a chair as well. As you settle into a comfortable sitting position, try to enter into the moment, feeling the weight of your body resting, the cycle of your breath, and when you are comfortable, close your eyes. Allow your shoulders to relax and fall back. Notice how that opens your airway for easier breathing. Our first practice is centering. This practice helps us establish balance in our physical body, center our emotional state, and center our focus. Centering reminds us that we always have a stable core we can return to, regardless of what's happening around us. Start by bringing your focus to your breath. Allow yourself to breathe normally and notice the rhythm of your inhales and exhales. As you breathe, lean forward at the waist and notice how the imbalance feels. Then, lean back and feel it again. Now, oscillate between the two until you can find the center, the point of balance, and rest there. Now, lean at the waist to the left and feel the imbalance. And then overcorrect to the right and feel the imbalance. Allow yourself to find the balance so that you are sitting with a straight but not rigid back. And now we can repeat this practice with our neck. Lean your head forward and then back and forth until you find the balance. Now left with the neck, then to the right. And find that point of balance. Sitting straight, balanced, and centered, notice the feeling of balance. Feel what it's like to be centered in your body. Imagine a beam of light passing from the top of your head to the seat of your pants, holding you in this state. This is your physical center. This is your core, your balance. Anytime you sit down, you can close your eyes and find this balance. Now return your focus to your breath. Feel your chest rising and falling, and the air rushing in and out of your mouth and nose. As you focus on the sensation of breathing, feel what it's like to focus your mind. This is the center of your attention. You control your attention. You can return your attention to your breathing whenever you like. Now, feel the calmness in this focus, in sitting centered with your mind. Let the calmness fill you as you breathe. In this moment, there's only your breathing, your mind, and your calm focus. This is your emotional center. Remember, you can influence your emotions. You can return your emotions to this calm state whenever you like. Now let's allow our breathing to flow naturally as we sit in this centered state. Try to let the feeling soak into you and try and remember how this state feels, the calm focus. the centered breathing. As we finish this practice, take one long, deep breath, focusing on this feeling of your centered self. And as you release that breath, allow this feeling to wash over you and sink deep into you. Now, we will continue with the rooting practice that will allow us to root this feeling into our core while internalizing our deep connection to others and the universe. To begin this practice, return to the beam of light passing from the top of your head to the seat of your pants. Find the point in your gut where this beam of light passes. Imagine gathering at this point all of your desires, drives, and hopes that make you who you are. The connections to the past that have shaped you and created the self that you are today. With each breath, imagine them binding together to form you. And as you release one deep breath, imagine this core being driven down through the beam of light into the ground. And as it does, these connections are driven deep into you and who you are. Now, find the point where the beam passes through your heart. Imagine gathering at this point all of your connections of love that bind you to other people. Imagine every person you love as a beam of love passing from that point to your loved ones. Likewise, imagine beams traveling in from your loved ones to this point. Think of your partners, your parents, your children, siblings, friends, pets, and anyone else you love or who loves you. This web of love also defines who you are. As you breathe in, gather these connections until you have them all. In a deep breath, and exhale, driving these connections into your core being. Now, find the point where the beam passes behind your mouth. Imagine gathering at this point all of your connections to any person you speak to or interact with. Imagine the bus drivers and the baristas, your teachers and your co-workers and your friends, your neighbors and acquaintances. This social network defines who you are in society. As you breathe in, gather these connections till you have them all in one deep breath. And exhale, driving these connections deep into your core being. Now, find the point where this beam passes behind your eyes, your third eye. Imagine gathering at this point all of your connections to every other person and living thing on earth. Through your connections, you are connected to every living thing, present, past, and future. These connections define you and your connection to Spirit and to God. As you breathe in, gather in these connections until you have them all in one deep breath. And exhale, driving these connections into your core being. Now finally, Find the point above your head where the beam enters you from far above. Imagine through this point flows all the connections between you and the world at large, extended far into the universe. Gather here all of your connections to all things that have ever or will ever exist. This infinity outside of you is reflected by an infinite depth within you. And as you breathe in, gather these connections until you have them all in one deep breath. Exhale, driving every connection into your core being. And let's take a moment to sit in this moment. Let's feel and remember deeply who we are. Let's remember this centered state and allow ourselves to be rooted in who we are. Let's do 4 breaths together with the mantra, centered and rooted. Inhaling, feeling centered, and exhale, rooted. Centered, and rooted. Centered and rooted. Centered and rooted. Now that we've experienced this state for a moment, just enjoy your centered and rooted mind as you breathe naturally. And once again, remember this feeling so you can return here when you need to. And as you feel you are ready, let's gently begin to end the practice. Take a moment to feel gratitude to yourself for this moment. Thank yourself for taking the time to engage in the practice and for the peace that it has hopefully brought you. And remind yourself that you can repeat this practice whenever you like. Now, deepen your breath, wiggle your toes and fingers, and when you are ready, slowly reopen your eyes. As your awareness of the world around you returns, feel the peace of your centered and rooted self remain with you. Invite it to stay with you as you return to your day, like a warm sweater. Thank you for listening. Go with love.